that's great. I just moved into Brick. It's a beautiful area. You have children? Oh, very nice. It's a great place for kids. There's so much to do there. There's the beaches. You have the amusement parks. You have everything. It's a really nice place to be. Yeah, you should get down there when you get a chance. And I saw that you were a carpenter. How long have you been doing that for? Oh, great. So is that in the family, or is it a family business, or is that something you? Okay. You've been doing that for a while. That's great. Hey, as long as you like what you do, that's the most important thing. Yeah, exactly. Is there a place we can sit? Okay, perfect. Excuse me. This is the first time you've sent back the card. So let me start from the beginning, and I'll tell you what this is all about. Just have to get your information into the computer. So each member that sends back the card in response to the Google Mail form is entitled to receive additional benefits should they qualify for it. My job is simple, is to provide you with the information about the no-cost benefits that are available to you, that you're eligible for, as well as show you the additional benefits that you may qualify for. This first video will explain the relationship between your union and my company, and why your union chose to work with our company.
Your union has entered into an agreement with our company, American Income Life, to provide valuable benefits to its members. We proudly proclaim our status as a 100% union-labeled company. From the representatives in the field who write an application, to the administrative staff in the home office, all the way up to the president and CEO. Everything is done under the union label, and we wouldn't have it any other way. From the beginning, we have operated in the spirit of be union, buy union. Wherever and whenever there is an opportunity to further the cause of labor, we are the first to find.
And I want to thank American Income Life for the role that you play as part of the labor family and as a union label provider of protection. And quite frankly, for all the things that you do to support John Sweeney and Linda Chavez Thompson and myself and America's working family. And I can tell you something, we're stronger and the country's better off because of what you've done to help us. And I can't convey that enough to you. On behalf of 13.5 million Americans that are part of the labor movement, but on behalf of 40 million Americans in union households, you make our lives better. And I want to say thanks on everyone that you have.
We are an international company with thousands of representatives. When selecting an insurance company, customers want a company they can depend upon to pay claims.
That's right.
We have earned the A+ superior rating for overall financial strength from AM Best.
more information about why your union chose to work with our company. I'm going to play you a quick video that will better explain my company's culture and a little bit about why I'm here.
At AIO, giving back is our core philosophy. From the home office staff to our field representatives around the world, helping others is at the foundation of our company. One of the ways we give back to the communities we work in is by providing food to families in need. In fact, your representative will ask you to donate a canned food item today for our local food bank. Our Closer to the Heart program of charitable giving was founded in 2012 as an added way to give back to the communities where we live, work, and visit. We partner with local organizations and help by making financial donations and participating in hands-on volunteer projects whenever possible. Other ways we give back to the communities where we live and work include providing no-cost benefits that help working people in areas of need in their everyday lives, and offering a no-cost individual or family needs analysis, which assists families in the prevention of potential economic disasters.
Really, really great.
With this philosophy, we are also proud to serve our community by providing an exciting and rewarding opportunity to those living within it.
After graduate school, a close friend of mine that was working with American Income Life suggested that I interview with the company. After having a chance to learn about the company, I fell in love with its mission and its culture of serving people. I've been with the company for 10 years now. I love the fact that I can have the opportunity to operate as if I'm owning my own business and at the same time have the support of a large international company. I would absolutely recommend that anybody share this opportunity with close friends and family members and change their lives as it's changed mine.
You probably know someone who is unemployed, underemployed, or dissatisfied with their current job. We're looking for self-motivated, career-minded people who love making a difference and helping others. Who do you know that is looking for a long-term career opportunity or just desires a better life for themselves and their family?
So as you can see, we're a company that believes that if we're going to work within the community, we must constantly be giving back to that community. One of the ways in which we do that is by offering opportunities to anyone looking for a new career, a career change, first-time employment. Unfortunately, a lot of us know someone who is out of work, unhappy with their job, whether it's their salary or their work environment, or they just know someone that is looking for their first job. Who do you know that could benefit from this opportunity? And we'll give them a call to set up an interview. Home or cell phone number. This is a friend. Okay. The city they live in. And his email. Who else would you like to sponsor for this opportunity? That's it. Okay. Your first free benefit is your no-cost AD&D. It was provided to you by your union as a way of thanking you for being a member in good standing.
You see the headlines every day. Drunk driver kills wife and mother. Accidental shooting proves fatal. ATV accident claims life. Just the thought of an accident taking the life of a loved one is very troubling. It's also troubling how frequently an accident takes the life of someone. And
Unbelievable.
when you consider that millions of people seek medical attention for accidental injuries each year, you want to protect your family, both physically and financially. We have partnered with your organization and are happy to be here today to deliver this no-cost AD This time, your agent will record your beneficiary information and provide your no-cost accidental death and dismemberment certificate of coverage. We recommend that you keep this in a safe place with your other important papers so it may be easily found in an emergency.
Okay. So this is your no-cost AD&D. It is provided to you by your union as a way, the master policy, the master coverage is with your union. But it looks just like this. If God forbid you were to die, you'd receive $4,000. If God forbid you were to suffer the loss of a hand and a hand, a foot and a foot, the sight in both eyes, you would receive $4,000. And if God forbid you were to suffer the loss of one hand, one foot, the sight in one eye, you'd receive half of that amount. Now this is non-contributory, which means it's a gift from my company AAL and your union. And non-participating just means that you won't receive any dividends. I need you to verify your date of birth, your beneficiary's name and relationship, and if you can sign that right there, that would be great. Okay. That's for you. Now we all have family and friends that we love very much and that we want to help out. Who do you know that can benefit from this no-cost AD&D? Anyone that you sponsor will receive the AD&D, this no-cost benefit, and will be eligible for the additional benefits as well. Is Gary married? Yes. His wife's name? Okay. Home or cell phone number? Gary's a friend, correct? Address? Is that an apartment or a residence? It's an apartment. In the city. And Gary's email? You don't know it, okay. And who's next? Is James married? He is married. Home or cell phone number? He's a friend, family, co-worker. Okay. Address? That's your residence. Okay. State, the city. And state. And James' email. Who's next? That's it. Your next no-cost benefit is your Child Safe Kit. It is designed to help protect your son. I will let the video explain better.
You've had that feeling. You took your eyes off your child for just a moment to answer a phone, then you couldn't find them. Your stomach sank. Your heart nearly stopped. You began to panic. But when you turned around, there they were, running back to you, safe and sound. But what if you hadn't been so lucky? According to the FBI, acting quickly is a missing child's best chance for being found. It's a frightening reality. 93% of abducted children are killed within the first 24 hours.
It's
How
unbelievable.
do you give authorities all they need to know to find your child without losing precious time? Do you know your child's height? Do you have a current photo of your child? Can you provide fingerprints for your child? Your answer to these questions may be yes, but is this critical information in one easy-to-find location? To give your child every chance to be found as early as possible, we're giving you a no-cost Child Safe Kit for each child in your home. This is our way of serving families in the community. Our Child Safe Kit is endorsed by the International Union of Police Associations, the American Federation of School Administrators, and the American Federation of Teachers. Our Child Safe Kit is a convenient way to record comprehensive information about your child, so authorities can help find your child quickly, such as your child's name, birth date, and address, blood type, medications, and allergies, your name and contact information, physical description, including any birthmarks or other identifying features that will help authorities identify your child quicker, DNA sample. The Child Safe Kit also comes with an inking strip, so you can fingerprint your child and find them quickly. And a place to attach your child's photo. We recommend updating your child's photo every 6 to 12 months. Your representative will give you a Child Safe Kit for every child in your household. We recommend that you complete the Child Safe Kit after your representative leaves today and keep it in a safe and convenient location that you can access quickly. It could literally save the life of your child.
You can. So this is, I brought with me a Child Safe Kit for your son. As the video stated, all the information from their prescriptions to that they take, to their fingerprints, to their birthmarks on the body is all in this kit. And as you know, the most important time, the most critical time is the first moments, the first hours when a child goes missing. So to spend that time with the police, giving the descriptions, filling out the paperwork, doesn't make any sense, and you can see how invaluable this kit is. So I bought one for your son, like I said. This is for you. Now, who do you know that has children? I'll deliver the kits to them myself. And how many children does Dana have? Okay. Is Dana married? Okay. One more cell phone number. And Dana's a friend of the family. And her address. An apartment or a residence? A residence. The city. And Dana's email. You don't know. And who else would you like to receive the child safe? Who else can benefit from the child safe? That's it. So all your family and friends that you just sponsored will receive some of these no-cost benefits and will be eligible for additional benefits as well. Please help your friends and family out by letting them know that I'm going to be in contact with them. I'm going to need your help to let them know about this. The best thing to do is just to let them know that you just to call them and to let them know that you sat down with a great guy who gave you some valuable benefits that can really help them out. But either way, I'm going to send you a text which you can forward to them at your convenience. But it is important to let them know that we'll be setting up an appointment to deliver the benefits just as I'm doing with you today. Each member that sends back the card is sent separately because each member has a different want and a different need. What might be right for you may not be right for the member I just saw or the member I'm going to see after you. Now this video will explain in simple words the needs for these benefits.
Each milestone a result of hard work and planning. But be prepared financially for the inevitable. The top 5 causes of death in America are heart disease, cancer, stroke, chronic lower respiratory diseases, and accidents, unintentional injuries. Life changes in a heartbeat. Are you prepared? Life insurance can help take care of your family financially, so they won't be burdened with outstanding expenses when you die. But many of us don't understand how life insurance works, the types of life insurance, or how our needs change as our lives change. First, let's look at how life insurance works. Life insurance pays a specific benefit amount upon your death. You choose the benefit amount that is right for your family based on your needs. The top 2 reasons people purchase life insurance are to pay for final expenses and to help cover the loss of income in the event of an unexpected death. People also purchase life insurance for mortgage protection so their family won't lose their home due to a breadwinner's loss of income. Additionally, many people purchase life insurance in the event they die. They help ensure their children can pay for their education. It's guaranteed that everyone will die. The only
That's true.
is when. Will your family be able to maintain their standard of living and achieve the dreams you share? The next step is for a representative to do a needs analysis to help make sure you're prepared.
So now that you have more information about the different types of life insurance and what they're used to cover, I'm just going to ask you a few questions to see what you qualify for, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so Mrs. Smith, what is your first name? And your date of birth? And your son's first name? And what is your son's date of birth? Now, does anyone have cancer? Does anyone have insulin diabetes? Does anyone have cardiovascular disease? No one's had a heart attack or a stroke? Is anyone currently using oxygen? Does anyone have a terminal illness? Do either of you have Alzheimer's? And have either of you used any form of tobacco in the last 12 months? When I say tobacco, I mean cigars, chewing tobacco, electronic cigarettes. Are you currently on probation or parole? And were you ever convicted or arrested or convicted of a DUI? Okay. So what the needs analysis is doing is designing a program that will help protect your family, completely protect your family, based on 5% of your take-home pay. And by using $5 out of every $100 that you take home to help protect your family, will that change your lifestyle in any way, shape, or form? So that's my commitment to you, is to stay within 5% of your take-home pay. Now, Mr. Smith, what is your take-home pay monthly? And Mrs. Smith? And do either of you have life insurance to work? And do either of you have life insurance outside of work? Okay. Do you currently rent or own? And do you have mortgage? Do you have insurance to pay for to pay off your mortgage in case of death? How much have you saved any money for your son's education, his college education? And do you use a checking or a savings account? Before we continue, it's important that I review a mandatory read-off letter with you. It basically states that once I show you the benefits, explain to you how they work, and answer any of your questions, you give me a simple yes or no. This is the read-off letter. Now, if these benefits make sense, then go ahead and take advantage of them today. Either way, here is your group report form. And have you fill it out to be returned to your union so that they can receive the feedbacks about these benefits. This first video will explain, will show how the program will provide an immediate sum of money for your final expenses.
The warmth of family is one of the most beautiful and valued things in life. For this reason, saying goodbye to a loved one can be difficult, and even more so when we are not prepared. The emotional distress adds to the financial burden. It can be devastating to lose the family savings or even the family inheritance.
That's true.
The average cost of a funeral continues to rise, and these expenses can be higher depending on where you live. Keep in mind that funeral and cemetery expenses increase each year due to inflation.
This is very important to pay attention to.
At 4% a year for the next 20 years, the cost of a funeral will have risen above $30,000. Expenses become even more overwhelming when you consider that Social Security only pays a $255 death benefit. And that's if you qualify. That still leaves all of the expenses for your family to cover. The last thing we want is to leave our loved ones in this kind of situation when we perish, isn't it? That's why it is important to anticipate for future events with preparation. Otherwise, who would be responsible for those unforeseen and sometimes escalating expenses that no one is ready for? We all want our last goodbye to bring comfort and leave a loving memory of us in the hearts of our loved ones. However, these good feelings can be diminished when we do not have coverage for final expenses and a burden is presented that could mean thousands and thousands of dollars. For this situation, American Income Life recommends our whole life policy along with the Freedom of Choice certificate. The process is simple and can be used to cover your final expenses up to the face value of your policy. Your beneficiary takes the certificate to the chosen funeral home, agrees to the service details, and writes the total amount on the back, signs it, and hands the certificate to the funeral home director. When the service is needed, the funeral home director calls the number on the certificate to speak directly to a claims representative. Payment is made directly from our company to the funeral home, and the remainder, if any, is paid to the beneficiary in a lump sum check. The decision is simple, and your family deserves it. Obtain final expense coverage
So as the video stated, the average cost of a funeral today is $15,000. Final expenses today is $15,000. However, due to the rate of inflation, the recommended amount of coverage is $30,000. Now, the rate of inflation is very real. Every 20 years since 1920, final expenses have doubled due to the rate of inflation. In fact, the rate of inflation for final expenses is actually much higher than the rate of inflation for the average rate of inflation for most things. So what it is now, if it's $15,000 now, in 2040 it's going to be $30,000 due to the rate of inflation. 2060, $60,000, and $55,000, $60,000, and so on and so forth. Now, both of you, for both of you, the recommended coverage is $30,000 due to the rate of inflation. You have no coverage, so both of you need $30,000, and that is the amount that we are providing with today. Now, does that make sense? And why does this benefit make sense? Exactly. Now, if God forbid either of you die, but especially Mr. Smith, during your prime working years, what would your family do without your income? So this next video will show how we can help replace your income.
Your age is the economic heartbeat of your family. It pays your rent, utilities, car payment, medical insurance, groceries, incidentals, leisure. Most families take this for granted until it stops. It is an economic heart attack.
It truly
AIL's
is.
income protection program, funded by term insurance, keeps your income flowing, which keeps economic life in the family. Our recommendation is that you provide up to 5 years of income replacement to take care of your family after you're gone, which would give your spouse and loved ones time to adjust to their loss, both emotionally and financially. If you died tomorrow, wouldn't you want your loved ones to know that you are thinking of them today?
Okay. So the recommended amount of coverage is for you, Mr. Smith, is $240,000. That will cover 5 years of your income. As you can see, you have $35,000 of term from your work insurance. So your need is $205,000, and the amount that we are providing with today is $205,000. For you, Mrs. Smith, the recommended amount is $72,000. It will cover 3 years of your income. You have no coverage at the moment, so your need is $72,000, and that is the amount that we're providing with today. Now, this is a 10-year term that is renewable and convertible, which means that you can convert it to whole life at any point or renew it when the term ends at guaranteed insurability, which means if God forbid you become sick between now and then, which will make your premiums a lot higher, or you can be excluded from coverage completely. It wouldn't matter. You would get it at the standard prices at that attained age. Now, does this benefit make sense? Why does this benefit make sense? Exactly. Now, this next video will show how we can help protect your mortgage.
The purchase of your house is the single largest investment your family will ever make. But a house is more than just an investment, isn't it? It's your home, where your memories are, where your family feels safe, and you have chosen to raise your children. It's the centerpiece for your family's life, a place where your family can grow strong and create new and loving memories. But we don't know how long will be able to share those moments.
Right.
Unfortunately, everything can change in the blink of an eye. An accident could happen to anyone, at any time, and in any place. No matter what your age or circumstances, you or a family member could be a victim. It is also troubling how frequently an accident takes the life of someone. Protect your family
Unbelievable.
and your home in the event of your accidental death. Imagine what would happen if you were no longer here to provide economic support for your family, no longer able to cover expenses like your mortgage. Would they have to move to a smaller home or to a less desirable area? Would your children have to change schools? The grief of losing a family member is always tough. How much more difficult would it be for your family to have to change their entire lifestyle? That's why it is important to be prepared. Don't you think it makes sense to protect your family today?
So the recommended coverage for you, Mr. Smith, is $250,000, which will pay for your mortgage, the balance of your mortgage. Should anything happen to you, your existing coverage is, you don't have any existing coverage, so your need is $250,000, and the amount that we are providing you with is $200,000. Now we typically use an ADB, accidental death benefit, which has a much bigger payout, for a much smaller cost. I said typically, but actually we're using an ADB for this because it has a much bigger payout for a very small cost. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to fit everything. We want to have you completely covered and stay within that 5% commitment. Now, the chances of you dying of an accident is actually probably greater than you dying of natural causes, so an ADB will suffice in this case. Now, the amount that we're providing you with is $200,000 because that is the amount, that is the largest amount we can give you at one time. We can always provide you with the $50,000, either today or tomorrow or next week or whenever you're ready to do the other $50,000. We just will add that on for you. Now, does this benefit make sense? Why does this benefit make sense to you? Okay. So do you understand everything about this coverage? This coverage makes sense? And do you see the need for this coverage? Do you have any questions about this coverage? Okay. So you have two options. Option A, or option 1, your final expenses are covered at the rate of inflation, so that's $30,000 a piece. Mr. Smith's income is protected for 5 years. Mrs. Smith's income is protected for 3 years. Your mortgage is protected. Now we also have something called a child rider, which is automatically entered into the system because it's highly recommended. But it's optional. The child rider basically states that for $6.25, your child will be insured for $10,000. Your son will be insured for $10,000. At 21, he falls off the policy and he's able to purchase 5 times that amount of whole life. So that's $50,000. and he's able to purchase that at guaranteed insurability, which means that if he becomes sick between now and then, it won't matter. He'll still be able to purchase up to $50,000 at the standard rates at that attained age. What's also great about the child rider is that it really gives them a head start on getting insurance early on in life when it's so cheap. I think it's like $34 for a male for $50,000 of whole life. It's terrific. Also included in this option and in the next option, in the option 2, is a no-cost layoff waiver and a strike waiver. The layoff waiver basically will pay up to 3 months of your premiums should you become unemployed. The strike waiver basically is if you go on a sanctioned strike, we'll pay up to 12 months of your premiums. And there are exclusions to that waiver, but that's pretty much what it is. And I've also added the waiver of premium to this option and option 2. This is optional as well, but we add it because it's highly recommended. If God forbid either of you become disabled, we will pay for your premiums for as long as you're disabled. Now the waiver of premium ends at age 60, but if you become disabled before age 60, we'll pay for your premiums for as long as you're disabled, up to the rest of your life. So option A, that is option 1, and the monthly premium for that is, okay. And option 2 is the same thing as option 1, same coverage, except your final expenses are covered at partial inflation, so we're giving you $20,000 of whole life for each of you, so you're covered for today and going forward for a few years. And for option 2, monthly premiums would be, so you have option 1 and option 2. Which option would you like to go with today? Well, we understand how you feel, and a lot of members have felt that way. And what they found is that it has to be affordable to you. That's the bottom line. So what I'm doing is we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to show you option B, but instead of having 5 years of income protection for Mr. Smith and 3 years for Mrs. Smith, I took the income protection down to 3 years for Mr. Smith and 1 year for Mrs. Smith. And typically 3 to 5 years of income protection is recommended for someone that is completely dependent on a spouse for income. You know, a stay-at-home mother that's never been in the workplace, that has children, that is completely reliant on that. She has to, it gives her the chance to go back to school, to get the training she needs, to get the work experience she needs, to really get over the loss of the breadwinner's financial contributions. But in your case, you're both working, you've been in the workplace for a while, you make a good salary. So I think that 3 years for Mr. Smith and 1 year for Mrs. Smith is actually perfect. So for option B with the updated with the changes with the income protection at 3 years and 1 year, the monthly premium is at. Okay. So that's a good choice. I'm going to need your driver's license, your physician's names, any medications that you're taking, whether it's over the counter or prescription, and I'm also going to need your checkbook.